Okay, I remembered how I dealt with this problem before. So the last video we left off with an issue that our horizontal motion is kind of funny. It draws it at we have a horizontal velocity of 50 and it's drawing it at 49.9999999, and then etc. etc. But at some point we hit the correct value, right? And then we're at the correct value for a little while here, and then we eventually, yeah, we kind of get off again. And notice that we're not going in one direction. It's not 500.000001. It's still that just barely shy, in fact, infinitely shy of the value that we want. And eventually, I imagine it probably, maybe not within our time frame. You can see our ball is still kind of moving away there. Okay, so the issue here, to me, the fact that it's going kind of back and forth, that tells me that we have a little bit of a computer problem here, because we're infinitely close to the value that we should have. And so let me show you how I'm going to address this by setting up the clock and showing you that the clock kind of has a similar issue when we're talking about continuous motion as well. So if manual motion is false and our indicator color has changed, we want to start adding to our clock value, right? So let's go ahead, set our clock value plus equals clock value divided by whatever our frame rate is, because again, we don't want to, this runs 30 times a second. We don't want to add 1 to this. Oh no, we want to add 1. There we go. We don't add 1 to that every single time. We want to add 1 divided by how quickly we're running this loop. So that's that. And then we want to go ahead and change that label. Clock info. And what do we want? Well, we want the string of whatever our clock value happens to be. Okay. So there we go. So now, if we run this again, okay, and we press the H button, notice that the clock has a similar issue here in that it's just kind of ugly. It's also giving us a lot of those, because we're dividing by something like 30, we're getting a lot of these sort of infinitely repeating decimals, and it's just kind of, it's not all that attractive. So we're going to use a round function to kind of get rid of that. We're going to change the label to whatever the clock value is, but we're going to round it first, and we're going to round it. Let's see, make sure I've got my parentheses where they need to be here. I have no idea. What did I just do? We're going to round the clock value to 2. Okay? I believe that's right. Okay, so let's look at that. We'll see if that throws me an error or not. So we're going to round it to 2 significant digits. So it's going to give us, at the 12.6999 second mark, it's going to say 12.70. That's what that 2 means. It rounds to 2 significant digits. So if we run this again, and I got my parentheses closed correctly, let me press the H button. Now the clock, it just looks a little nicer, right? I mean, it's still moving very quickly, but we don't have that big repeating decimal. And so we're going to fix the horizontal position, and actually we're going to do it for each of them just to be consistent as well. So we're going to find that when we mouse over one of those indicators, we're going to set a string, but now we're going to go ahead and round that string to 2 decimals, right? And I'm going to copy this, and we're going to do this for each one of these. So I'm just going to put the round in front of each one of these labels, open a set of parentheses, and we're going to put in 2 significant figures for each one of these. And so that'll just make our labels look a little bit nicer. And it'll also keep those super long infinite numbers from showing up for our horizontal position. So now if we do this again, we run that, and now all of our horizontal positions, they look really nice, right? Because it's 0.999999 repeating, it always is going to round up for us, and we're going to see the values that we want to see. Okay, and the V button should start drawing them when we want, and we should still get this nice Okay, 125, so we're still getting those nice round numbers there. And if we press the C key, we should get combined motion, and it should give us, the dots look like they're lining up, but we'll go ahead and check. So we have 150 on the horizontal, it looks good, 45 in the vertical, all looking good here. Okay, so it's working, but here we have a problem with our dots aren't the right colors. So this is just a little bit tedious. We just have to tell it if spawn delay is equal to 0 and indicator color is equal to 1, we're going to draw that red one. And now we're going to do elif statements, and we're going to put in one for 2, we're going to draw the second one, we're going to put in one for 3, and we're going to draw the third one. And make sure we change what we're checking for. We're checking to see if it's 3, we're checking to see if it's 2, and I'm going to put in an elif statement because I know one of these 3 things has to be true if we're inside of this loop, because it's only going to run this loop if that indicator color is greater than 0. So it's got to be one of those 3. And so that now should give us the right colors to draw. So I know it looks like a lot of code, right? But really there's a lot of copying and pasting in this. It's a big block there, but it's not that complicated to actually make it. So now if we press the V button, we should get some green dots. That looks good. And if we press the C button, we should get some yellow dots. Okay, so there we have it. You can probably, we'll do it in a video just to demonstrate it, but you can probably figure out how to do the vectors all by yourself. We want to add vectors to this next, so go ahead and try that on your own, and we'll do that in the next video.